Welcome to Sustainable Homes Tour. So what does a sustainable house look like? A sustainable house looks like any other sort of house, but a little bit more thought has been put in the design. Things like thinking about energy and water use, about what sort of building materials are used, are they low carbon or recycled? Thinking about things like thermal mass and insulation, or how the landscaping is used to grow food or manage stormwater and rainwater.
Yes, hello, I'm James. A classic Federation house, 4 lovely front rooms, rabbit warren of crappy DIY extensions at the back, you know the way it is. What we particularly liked about the house was the garden. We basically get almost all of our greens out of the garden. So I've got 3 compost bins in total, plus a worm farm. The worm farm I think is the winner of the 3 for inner city context, because you can just add in your vegetable scraps as you go, and so it's very suited to kind of top up use. We have beehives on the roof, honeybees that is, so I'm actually processing honey at the moment. So water tanks, so when we moved in, this was one of the first things we did, because at the time the water restrictions were on in Sydney. When we did the renovation, we took the opportunity to add some more tanks. So we added this one, which is 3,500 litres, I think, and we added a tank around the other side, so it adds up to just under 10,000 litres in total. Our back garden is a native garden. It shows you that you can grow natives in a shaded context, and you can go quite a lot. It goes slower, but it gets there. Apple trees and citrus and all sorts of good stuff, avocado. The chickens get to free range out there. They're very happy chickens. Come on in. This is our eco extension. There are a heap of eco features. Turns out in practice, this was the easy thing. Lovely guy, turns up, built it in 3 days. So it stabilises to the interior temperature of the house. And thus that if the temperature goes up because there's a door open, and then you close the door, the wall is now colder than the air, and the air will stabilise down to the same temperature as the wall. It's an eco kitchen on a bunch of different levels. The kitchen is made out of plywood. The interior of the cupboards are shellacked in the old-fashioned way. The cabinet tops are Sakari, floorboards are Sakari. It's lovely, it's a beautiful thing, it's actually incredibly cheap.
Well, there's been 3 stages of renovation, 1 before I bought it and 2 that I've done. But this last major one was about 6 years ago. So we got in, when we put the photovoltaics up, we put in 1.89 kilowatts of photovoltaics, but that's been generating roughly the same amount as we've used annually, because we don't use a lot of energy, we don't have any aircon,
Don't have a dryer.
Don't have a clothes dryer, yeah, so we have good insulation and fans. All the new extension is double glazed, and it's got, as well as all the bats in the wall, it's got styrofoam about that thick over the bats underneath the eco-ply cladding, and that makes it very cool in summer and quite easy to heat in winter. We close the some of the other areas off and just use one sort of little gas bayonet heater, and that adequately heats the downstairs. It's off more than it's on. It's got a thermostat, so it uses very little gas. We have 6,000 litres of water. This is the small tank. There's 2 others along the side, the 2 bigger ones. I'll show you around the side here if you like. This is what's under the eco-ply. They come in big sheets like plywood does. We've got a couple of compost bins, and this is the instantaneous gas booster for the evacuated tube water heater, and there's a whole lot of micro switches which set the temperature. Right, so we've got a blind here that because we get the western sun coming in here, so we just wind that one down
shade on the other side, that stays up 6 months of the year, like, you know, and comes down in winter to let the sun in winter. And you see these bushes have been deliberately left like this to shade the house more. And then we'll cut them down in winter.
So you've got the photovoltaics on this end, the evacuated tube water heater down the far end, and the smart flow guttering just in front of you.
The whole tour has been really inspiring, looking inside people who are passionate about what they're doing.
I have a really difficult backyard and I've found it really hard to grow things in, and this has given me a lot of ideas about how to actually work with the amount of sunlight and the amount of shade that I have.
Just having looked at this house, I think it's really wonderful the way the extension's been put on. It's so big and spacious. It gives a really big airy feeling. I'm glad I had the opportunity. I wish I had the vision.
What I'm going to take away is spread the word to other people that I know who would love to see this, and try and inspire people who are not all that keen and say, you must go on the next one. It was fabulous.
So there are lots of places you can get help if you're renovating or just updating your home. Contact your council and see if there are any workshops, events or tours happening. You can visit Sustainable Homes on Sustainable House Day. It's held every September. And if you walk past a house locally and they have solar panels or a rainwater tank, knock on the door and get some information from the homeowner. Once you've got all that information, go to your architect or your designer and get them to put in the elements that you want. It is your home and it's your decision.